Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the Eccsc Nightly Review. I'm your host, Tyrone Muhammad. As y'all can see, we're recording and we're located in a prison cell near you. This is a beautiful opportunity here for the people to actually get a chance to see what it feels like to be trapped behind bars. We live in a society right now where to be a local weed man means that you're probably in prison. But we also live in a society that also says to be a local weed man means that you look like 99% of white men who are the primary principles and breadwinner of cannabis. Cannabis is, in Illinois, so far, a $2 billion a year industry and rising. We have young men incarcerated for drugs, for weed right now. Every day in our blocks, in our community, you have young men that's victimized by the war on drugs. Every day. We stand before we are victims of the war on drugs, the 80 war on drugs, and the 1994 Clinton crime bill. We say this is unacceptable. We stand in opposition to the injustice, the inequities that is cannabis. Cannabis continue to be one of the main inequities that has enriched one class of people and continue to incarcerate another. All while standing before society claiming that the legalization of weed, or cannabis as they want to call it today, ultimately will create wealth and equity in our society. We know this is farthest from the truth. We know that this is a lie. We know that today, law enforcement, and they use cannabis as a tool to continue to justify pulling guys over for illegal search and seizures. We know this. So we stand here to say in opposition to this narrative. This makeshift prison that we're standing in represent the reality of Black America. 33% of Black male African American are incarcerated or have been incarcerated in this country. 33%. That's just African, that's just males. That's not even counting Black women. 33%. That is a atrocity. That's a Holocaust in itself, if you ask me. We must stand again in opposition to the injustice that is mass incarceration. Eccsc for community and social change stand in opposition against all these social inequities. Re-entry has to be made a reality. Prison reform, social justice have to be made a reality. With that being said, let's take a seat. How y'all doing, people? Once again, I'm Tyrone Muhammad. You are tuned in to Eccsc Nightly Review. It is our hope that a show like this can continue to tackle and bring awareness to the number of issues that's facing our community. We ask for your help. We ask that for you to participate. We ask that you help us build awareness. We ask that you help us create a movement for change that can then and ultimately create equity, true social equity, true social justice. We know that it's not true. We know that it's not real in our society because the very men in society that they call returning citizens never felt like citizens in their own community or their own block, let alone their own country or their own state. We're here to change that reality. I got on my right my brother Cena, I always say he's a celebrity of his own right, because he and I have been working to bring about connection with the diaspora of Africa, Africans with quote unquote African Americans, and in our case, black men with hands across Africa. And to my left over here, I have as a director of intervention, street intervention, and that's Snoop. So with that being said, I'm gonna turn this over to our brother Cena, so Cena can tell you all a little about him, what he's doing, and what he's working on as we build a narrative towards transforming and changing the society.
Yeah. Brother Tyrone, thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you so much. Surprised that I made it to the studio today.
Yes.
Didn't plan it, but it's always been a pleasure to, talk with Brother Tyrone and try to do community collaborative kind of projects with him. And so I just checked on him, as I do, regularly every now and then. And he was like, "Yo, come over to the studio." So got in here, and here we are. So I want to say hi to the viewers, followers of your program. I must say that you have done a tremendous job.
Thank you, brother.
Your vision obviously is catching on, and from the last time I came here and now, each time I come, there's a massive improvement. And obviously, did not know that you were doing this. I mean, you had all of this in this space,
Right.
in addition to everything else that you have. So this is massive. And to see the transformation and the development that you have within your purview, and the lives that you're touching outside, I really want to take off my hats for you and your organization for the change that you bring into the community, the lives that you're touching. And the heart, the pure heart, and the sacrifice that you have to put in, the sacrifice that you have to put in. That said, Senna is the name. I go by Alinko. I'm the host and founder of the Progressive Mind Show. The essence of the Progressive Mind Show is to promote positivity, connect the African diaspora. And we have been trying to do that because we believe sincerely, we believe passionately that Black people across the globe need to start recognizing, or need to recognize more, our connectivity and our oneness. We can look at every other race, every other ethnic group, and they don't seem to have divisiveness as compared to Black folks. Anywhere you go in this world, you will see an Asia town or Chinatown. Now it says Chinatown, but it's not only Chinese people that go there or do business there. It's a collection of folks from Asia. The point is, when they leave their mainland, which is Asia, and they go to a foreign land, they stop seeing themselves as, you are Chinese, you are Japanese, you are Korea, you are Vietnam. They don't see that.
Right.
They see Asians.
Yes.
And it's easy for them to do that. Of course, Europeans don't have that problem. They don't say, "Hey, you a Polish European," or "You a Italian white man," or "You a German white man." They don't, even though there are divisions, right? They all come from different Europe countries.
I think we got your seat too high, don't we?
Yeah.
All our seats
Yeah.
too high.
Okay.
Let's drop it down a little bit.
Yes.
On your right. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see.
Good.
Now we
There you go.
get in line.
So yeah, so you all know the points that I'm making. And for me, having been here since for some time now, since 20, I've been here since 2008.
From Nigeria?
No, from Ghana.
Ghana.
From Ghana. From Ghana.
I know. See, I just threw that out there because they all, they got this culture trip. But like we are. I'm West Side, I'm South Side, I'm East Side. But that's love.
Right. We do that. But seriously, I just noticed the differences within the Black community. And as an African, a lot of questions that I asked myself before I began this journey is, why is it that I'm Black, but when I meet a Caribbean, they don't even see me like a fellow Black person. They're thinking they say I'm from Jamaica and you're from Ghana, so their attitude towards me is different. The same way when I meet an African American, but I'm like, we can't. I have to do something about it. As difficult as it was, I realized that somebody has to do something about it, because coming from Africa, there's so much love for the African American in Africa.
Right.
We love African Americans when we're in Africa. So my thing is, why is it that when we come here as Africans, we're not able to see the African American in the light that we see them when we are on the continent?
Right. Is it because economics play a big part? Do you think that because everyone is fighting and vying for their little part in the American dream, that it's like competition now? Like, all right, when I see you striving, y'all made it. I saw y'all make it. And your culture, the rap, the style, we love all of that and we emulate that. But once we come over here, it becomes like we're better than you because of the opportunities to whatever. I don't know what the psychology.
Yeah, the psychology is that one thing. See, so good point, bro. One of the dangerous things that happened to the continental African is that they didn't teach us about our own history as Africans. So as a Ghanaian, I don't know the history between my fellow blacks, Africans, and African Americans. We didn't even know a lot about. We know slavery happened, but we didn't know the details of slavery, and so we don't appreciate or we don't know that connection. So, but when we see African Americans on TV, we're like, they look like us, but and we like their style, right? And so when we come here, but guess what? We see the connection, but we don't know that you're our cousins, like we're cousins. You see what I'm saying? Because we don't, because we were not taught who we are as Africans and our history. We cannot make that connection with you all. That these are brothers and sisters that left our shore so many years ago, right? And so we bring that notion here, not having that connection. We love the style, but we don't have that spiritual connection. We have not realized, let me put it this way. It's not like we don't have that spiritual connection. We have the spiritual connection, but we don't realize it because we were not taught. So when we come here, mind you, we are escaping poverty in Africa. To your point. If you all think that there's poverty in America, wait till you experience poverty in Africa. Now, Africa, I'm not saying is bad, but we have had some bad leaders. So the people in Africa are not benefiting off of their natural resources. It's foreigners, okay? Indians, Lebanese, now Chinese people. And ask myself, why aren't African Americans coming to Africa to take advantage of the resources too?
That's right.
Because everybody else is coming.
That's right.
So why aren't you also coming to your rightful place to partake or to take some?
Well, I'm going.
Good.
You know I'm
going.
You
have to. Because the thing is, I tell African Americans, my brothers and sisters,
we wear all this diamond gold. What we think it comes from?
If you don't come and buy some piece of land now, which might have a ton of gold or diamond underneath, because you don't know, because the land is just rich everywhere. That piece of land that you're not buying, Eccsc went to Africa and he owns a city. Eccsc owns a whole country.
The rapper Eccsc.
You see what I'm saying?
Senegal, right?
Senegal. So what Eccsc has been saying is that you better come home to Africa, find a place in Africa, buy a bunch of land and have it in your name. You don't have to live in Africa, but you can have you can do farming on it. You can have a factory on there, and it doesn't take too much to set up a factory because of the currency, that the American currency, right, and the local. So, and you have a lot of human resources. Africa has the most populous youth population in the world, right? So there are a lot of youth who don't have a job and they're looking for opportunity. So guess what? The Indian who comes to Africa brings about what, $20,000?
Right.
He set up a little shop somewhere. He employs he employs black people, and he treats them like crap because they don't have respect for the African. because they cannot relate with the African. But guess who can relate to the African better? The African American, because you know what I'm saying, because of the history, and that's where we're from. So if you all are having businesses in Africa, you can employ fellow Africans. You can relate, they relate with you better. You can own the resources. You can export to other African countries or even export them here because they're doing it. Lebanese are doing it. Europeans are not even trading in Africa a lot, to be honest with you. They don't do a lot of business in Africa. They only have a few corporates that are running some of the gold mines and the big oil, but they're not there a lot. The people that are doing a lot of business in the countries, in the inside Africa, Lebanese, Asians, and Indians. You see what I'm saying? Because they have seen the resources that are available. So all I'm saying is that African Americans, I know you all like to travel. Everybody likes to travel. But a lot of things that I hear about when I talk to my fellow African Americans is that when they travel, they go into Europe. Okay?
Right.
That's fine. But if you can spend that part of travel time to Africa, take a look at the continent, pick a country, and then go back and buy a lot of land with a little bit of money. That land belongs to you, and you can do whatever you want to do with it in the future. You can let it out for your children. You will never go wrong if you have a piece of land in Africa. Africa is a developing continent. There are still a lot of opportunities there. It's not like America. America doesn't need no development. It's already developed.
So we got Tiffany J. Lyles on. She said this is the type of conversation that we must continue to have, and that's real.
Yeah.
It's like, how do we cross hands across America, across Africa, right? And
let me say something very interesting. Well, there's a question that you ask: why do Africans behave the way we behave when we come here? And I did an episode on this on my show. There was a question that was asked. I'll say this first. Africans, like I said, are running away from poverty.
Yes.
Okay? We're escaping. There's a difference between leaving and escape.
Right.
That is why you can see a lot of African youth on the high seas trying to cross to Europe, and they die on the high seas. They see their friends die, right? And they see it on TV. But the next batch of boats that comes to the shore, they're going to jump on that boat. You could be at home and see your friends, you see videos of your friends die on the ocean, and you'll be like, man, this is dangerous. But guess what? You see it, but you're going to try to you're going to try to engage and back on that journey. Because in your mind, it's better to die on the sea than to be in Africa and see your family struggle and die of hunger. I'm telling you this because a lot of African youth, and I'm not saying every place in Africa, because a lot of places are doing well.
Right.
But the mentality of the youth is that there's too much hardship, and so they're trying to escape. Anywhere else is better. Now,
hold that right there. Now, we sit here talking about Africa. We are formerly incarcerated guys, right? Who've pretty much escaped the plantation of prison. So we kind of understand what being confined to a continent is, in a sense, and being impoverished from that confinement and then escaping. But this whole series of issues, as we build out, should have thousands of views, right?
Yeah.
I can go do some, shut a store down, shut anything down, and I have hundreds of views. People watching madness, confusion, drama.
Yeah.
Like Tiffany Lyles just said, this the conversation that we need to keep having.
Yeah.
Now you talking about this and how we share. They don't share, they don't invite their friends, they don't do anything. Y'all seen it even on your show. Like, you know what I mean? The Africans that's in Chicago.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't even
watch
how you bridging the gap, right?
They don't care about that.
And we bridging it.
Let me tell you
go get it.
Let me tell you some truth, bro. What hurts? And if Africans are watching me, I want them to watch it, because this is a conversation I'll be having with my fellow Africans. Sometimes we butt heads, but that is our struggle as Africans. I can talk on my WhatsApp group or other groups. I can talk about any other thing, and friends would engage. Nobody has a problem. As soon as I start talking about the diaspora and African Americans and how we have to work together, I get a lot of backlash.
That's great.
Yes, because I understand. Because here is a problem: we have been damaged so much about the African American community to the point where we can stand like,
And that's a European
thing, right?
that taught them how to think, in a sense.
Well, I always want to tell the African to take accountability.
Yeah,
We
good.
have to take
Great.
accountability at some point.
That's it.
Because listen, you talked about something. You talked about how you were incarcerated,
Yeah.
but look at what you've done with your life. Bro.
Yes, sir.
You see, so you have to live through that mental.
Pain, hurt, that struggle.
So if Europeans did something to Africans, we're here now.
Right.
We have to transform our minds.
Yes.
I hear people say, "Oh, the Europeans that did this to us and they separated us." But we are grown men and grown women now.
Free
We have to learn our history, and we have to understand that our connection with our fellow African Americans is the key to our survival and our growth as a universal Black community. There is no way the African can come to United States or the diaspora and try to do things on their own. We are the minority of the minorities.
Mm-hmm.
Why can we not see the African American community, which is the second biggest economic power, if not the third,
Bringing
right?
their resources to build the motherland. With all the billionaires and multi-millionaires of rappers, entertainers, athletes, you know.
Because this is what, listen, Afrobeat is doing well now.
Yes.
How about, and all Afrobeat stars emulate pop culture. And who does pop culture belongs to? You all.
Yes, with everything.
So why are those African pop culture stars not trying to say, how do I connect with Jay-Z?
Mm-hmm.
How do I make music with whoever, right? That is exchange of economic power right there.
I want you to hold that thought. For live call-ins, that's 312-579-9661. That's 312-579-9661. If you want to join in on this conversation, we have a phone set up for you to do so. But back to that.
Yeah.
And while you on that, and I want to get to so the people can understand,
Yeah.
we're not just here talking.
Yeah.
We're talking about going back to Africa. I got gold, cobalt, diamonds, and oil over there. I'm going to get mine. Y'all can come with us. You know what I'm saying? I got my brothers here. We going. But we got some real live brothers networking. I'm not saying going to Africa thinking about money. I'm saying everyone from China to India to the Europeans are mining our land.
Yeah.
And we have no access or have no opportunities that we create for ourselves to be able to do so. That's atrocious. That's an atrocity, man,
it is.
in itself.
It is.
And it's blatantly ignorant.
It is.
So when we go get our diamonds,
Yeah.
we may have to take a few of us to show how we develop land, even if it's ex-cons, right? We take them back, we teach them, train them. But this is what I wanted to produce. You could touch on either one of those, right? But this is what I want to say to them. So we creating an opportunity to build a real radio station that deals with the diaspora Africa, that connects Africa with Black men and women over here in America, right? And we're creating that radio station. And we often can give them an opportunity to be a part of that, because once we create that radio station and program, I think you create a form of stock option that we allow people to participate in their own freedom, in their own expression.
Exactly.
So this is what we've been talking about, and I think this is the beginning of that conversation to the public.
Exactly. And to that point, to that economic point that you made, and I always say this, I always say this, that the more we keep looking away from each other, the more we leave room for everybody else to take advantage of what we have and what belongs to us. You know, again, Africa has had its struggles mainly because of some bad politicians.
Yeah.
African Americans have been resilient. They built this system. They built
That everyone come over to benefit and capitalize off of our work, our effort.
And that's what I tell my African brothers and sisters, right? That we come here to benefit off of your hard work and your blood, your sweat of your ancestors, right? So Africans can come here. You can become a citizen. You can vote. You can live freely. You can get any type of job you want. And I always say that those opportunities were made by people. People made those opportunities that we come to seek here. Somebody built it. And the people that built it, of course, Europeans and African Americans. And if you look at history, we understand the contribution of the African American to the American development or to this system. And as Africans, these are the things that we have to learn. I tell my friends all the time, I've seen a lot of African Americans learning African history and culture than the other way.
That's right.
I don't know any African or Africans who have come here to learn, so to say, you know what, I want to spend some time to learn about the history of the African American and their contribution to this society, right? But you see a lot of African Americans trying to learn our culture. So why aren't we Africans taking a lot of initiative when it comes to us connecting as fellow blacks? Guess what? We are the ones that contributed to slavery.
Yes.
Our ancestors were the ones that helped the Europeans right? So
really, we have a natural claim to Africa.
You have a birthright.
Right. Birthright. And you owe us reparations.
What I'm saying, I said that on my show, bro.
Yeah, yes.
I said that on my show, The Progressive Minds.
Yeah.
Right? I wish that all African presidents, especially Sub-Saharan Africa, all of them, I wish they can all declare a year of return just like the president of Ghana did. Okay? Not just declare a year of return, but offer acres of land to every African American or every black living outside the continent of Africa. Because slavery, of course, African Americans and the Caribbeans, right? If every African president can do that, it is not only good, it's morally right. It is our moral obligation for every African president to do that. Because, like you said, this is your land. You have a first birthright. You have a first right to a piece of Africa, to a piece of the land in Africa. So that's why I said the main problem of Africa has been our leaders. Because I, individually, I can take you home and say, here is my father's land. Tyrone, I want to give you a piece of it. I can do that individually. But how much is that going to do for the 5 of you here?
No.
Okay, but if the president say that we're giving hundreds of acres, this is a town. If you're African American, come here, we'll give you a piece of this land. See how can you imagine the impact of that?
Oh, wow.
That is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But our leaders are not taking this initiative, and it's my prayer that African leaders can start doing this. Yes, we owe you the first reparation right. We Africans owe you that. And I say to my fellow Africans in the United States and the UK and the Caribbean, everywhere you are, you have to understand that we as the descendants of our ancestors have to stand on the shoulders of our ancestors and reach out. If we can give them land here, we have to reach out to the African American and extend love and extend peace and just extend love and peace, because we owe our ancestors and we owe them that, because our history shows that there was a contribution of the African to slavery. Now, we're not going there, but all we are saying is that the moral obligation relies on the African to reach out, to participate more when it comes to the bridging of the gap that has existed between Africans and African Americans. Even though we are running away from, we are escaping poverty in Africa, and when we come here, our main goal is to survive and to look for money, right? So that we can help folks back home. That is all nice. But at the end of the day, we have to understand that we are we are benefiting off of a land that and a system that was built through sweat and blood and sacrifice by some people. They are called African Americans. And so, even though we are running away from poverty, one of the key things.
Steve Coakley in Ghana.
Who?
Somebody say you must know my friend Steve Coakley in Ghana.
Oh, I don't think I know him.
Okay. That was
one of the struggles of the African here in the diaspora is that because we've seen a lot of seen so much poverty, right? When they come here and they work in the urban areas, or when they see poverty, like they see African Americans living mediocre lives and impoverished lives, they don't want to have nothing to do with it.
You hear me? Because they're chasing America's dream.
And because they're running away from that.
So they running from poverty, running to a potential opportunity to be like the very white men that created. I'm just saying, not just them, but to be like the very colonialism, capitalists that created their country to look the way it looked like, that hated him.
We would.
So, but then they forget their own country.
They don't forget their own country. We come here again, like I said. We don't want to have anything to do with anything that we're running away from. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So that can push the African mentally away from the African American community, especially the low income kind of situation, right? Okay, because we want to do better.
Right.
Now that you've done better, you've done well. You have to understand, as an African, you have to understand that majority of African Americans don't live the kind of life that we see, on the news.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like they're bad,
Exactly. That's not even 3% of the total population.
There are a few that are messed up, where they do bad things. Yeah. Just like we have in Africa too.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of guys that are living low lives, right?
Yeah.
Even guys who may have got an opportunity to do well in Africa decides not to take the opportunity.
But you know what? Lives. You know what? That don't matter to them in the sense of this. Yeah. You all have an opportunity. What we run into, you all have squandered an opportunity to capitalize and benefit off the very promise that we run into.
Yeah.
So I really don't respect y'all, because here we are impoverished in Africa, fighting for the same opportunities that you all have, and you all don't respect it. Now I almost have to appreciate that sentiment, because that's what we are as cons. What if we just said, no man, the white man locked me up, I'm gonna just keep on doing what we're doing?
Yeah.
So we creating a culture of ECCSC that says, listen, it's gonna take us to save us.
Right.
That we are not accepting excuses. We're not accepting. We got a caller. Let's go, caller. Lyle Williams.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This Shelly and Tiffany here.
Man, what's this call, man? All right, Shelly. Hey, Shelly. Hey, Tiffany. I hope y'all enjoying the show.
We really are. I just really want to just send a shout out to you all. The topic that you guys discussing. I myself visited Ghana. We have relatives right now that live in Ghana, starting up a transportation business right now. So look forward to expanding our work, ECCSC work on the continent, and man, just keep on with the good work you guys are doing.
Man, thank you for calling in. Take care, Tiffany.
You too. Great conversation. Let's keep it coming.
Well, hey, ain't nobody gonna do it but us. All right. Take care.
All right. Take care.
All right. As y'all saw, we had you're free to call in. That's 312-579-9661. That's 312-579-9661. They said they called in late, Cena, and they asked, who is this guy, Cena? I mean, so she asked, who is this? So it's Cena.
Sena.
Senna. So Senna. And
And I'm from Ghana.
He's from Ghana, and he has a show.
The Progressive Minds show. It's every Wednesday from 6 Central to 8 p.m. It's on Facebook and YouTube.
So we're about to we're working our opportunity to build our own radio station, right?
Yeah.
That deals with the African diaspora, African American, Black, whatever you decide you want to call yourself. I say Black for me, but to deal with that and figure out how we bridge the gap, how we bridge the gap, how we create the economic opportunity to be able to import and export from our own motherland, to also then go into business in America with the products from our motherland that then help enrich our motherland and then help us be able to get at a lot of the social ills in America that Black people are dealing with and facing all across this country and the world, really.
Exactly. You see, the brother said he's doing transportation business in Ghana. So imagine 10 years from now, we got a lot of people doing this.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of.
But this is what I mean.
Yeah.
Maybe this ain't for everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe it takes ECCSC to take Eccsc back home where they accept it. To learn, train, do labor, make money, build businesses, learn the culture, learn language, learn what it is that the African culture in our motherland is, to bring back that knowledge home and back that sharing of knowledge and information. Maybe it takes us to be enrich ourselves. You know, because everyone else is enriching themselves off of the motherland.
Sharing capacity. We have to exchange capacity. There are architects in the African American community, right?
Yes.
There are construction contractors or construction companies in the African American communities, right? There are African Americans who have factories and and doing stuff, right? So here is what I'm actually saying. Ghana has been building roads. We've been giving contracts to all types of foreigners. Chinese, they build our bridges, they build our huge buildings.
But we got contractors here.
That's what I'm saying.
That can make those billions. Billions. And they fighting over measly crumbs of percentages, minority percentages, less than 3% sometimes of construction contracts when they have really no big contests in Africa if they take their time with that.
That's what I'm saying. So because we have not had that connection, we've been so separated, right? To the point where even the Africans that are coming here are not trying to make that connection. So that's what I'm saying. If we get to the point where governments in Africa can award government contracts, the huge ones we give to the Chinese, the ones we give to the Indians, the ones we give to the Lebanese, right? People from Lebanon. If we're giving those to folks from Chicago, folks from DC, folks from New York, like black folks looking like us, it's a game changer. It's a game changer. Because if you're building skyscrapers here, why can't you build it in Africa? Why can't we give you that contract to build that bridge? Why can't we give you that contract to build that road or to build that school? That hospital we're trying to build, why should we give it to some foreigner to build it? There are factories, lands that we can so much crop. You throw grains on the floor in front of your house, the next 3 days it's germinated, it's growing.
That's how further
the land everywhere. You don't even have to work. You don't even have to try. So it's from education to health to IT to manufacturing to all the sectors, like tourism. It's just opportunities everywhere. And again, the hurt is that the disappointment is that it's of course black people that are running some of them, right? Indigenous Africans are running some of them, but a lot of the huge ones, the big hotels, it's all foreigners. And these foreigners, I bet you 10 years ago, I did not know one African American who had a business in Ghana. Thank God for now. Now things are changing, like this brother said, right? So that's what I'm saying. 10 years from now, if this trend continues, it will help. It will be very good for our fellow African Americans who have a ton of money here. And you can just 10 years ago in Ghana, we didn't have what we call Holiday Inn. Okay.
Hello, this is ECCSC Nightly Review. How can I help you?
Hey, Tyrone, this is Glenn Baxter and Lisa Lorraine. How you doing?
How you doing, sister? Good to hear from you. You got a question or comment? I'll say you have a question or comment for our brother Sin.
Yeah, hey, I do. Sorry, let me turn my computer down. Yeah, I'm sorry for the, I was listening to the feedback. But yeah, I wanted to, better understand who the guest is. I think I caught his name as Mr. Senna.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if Mr. Senna was familiar with the black think tank that's being built in Ghana by Steve Coakley.
No, I haven't. No, I don't. I have no idea.
With the okay, all right.
So
How
why
long?
not
Ask
Lisa?
him. How
Okay.
long was this?
I'm sorry. Let me turn my volume down. So I haven't. Okay, I'm sorry. Was there a question?
How long has this think tank group been in Ghana?
He's been building it at least for the past year.
Okay.
And it's designed to be like a tech center for black people in Africa. He's from Chicago, ironically, and his father was very, progressive in black issues and rights as well, politically connected. So I just figured, Ghana's a big country, but when, you have people kind of working together on the same kind of ideas and ideologies, there was a chance you might know each other.
Yeah. No, I don't know, but the good thing about that is what we're talking about.
So that's great that you even talking like that. So we don't have to know him to know him, because at the end of the day, we talking about how we build a think tank, especially when it comes to ex-cons and what it is that we ex-felons are the only class or caste of individuals that's perpetually discriminated against on every level. So we have an opportunity to go away, build, develop, because we're gonna take advantage of it, because we just type of smart, right?
Yeah.
We just that.
Yeah.
So we gonna need to talk
and change the narrative.
and change the narrative.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
we don't become where we're not wanted. If we're not wanted in our own country that we built our ancestors, we can go back to our own country. So that's like a double entendre, right?
Yeah.
Our own country and our own country.
Because what you did not know, because what you didn't know before. That's why I asked you, when is this? Because as we said earlier, that now things are changing, right? Now people are going back and checking it out and doing stuff, right? And I just said that 10 years from now is going to be major. What has not been existing before is this exactly what we're talking about, because you already know how much the African love you.
Right.
To be honest with you, you have no idea how much the African love the African American. Again, it only changes. That situation changes when they come here, because as soon as they get here, they get fed, because they don't know here, right? So whoever they come to, because the people already here have certain narratives about African Americans because through the media, right? So the fresh African who is here is being told, don't mess with those people. Okay, so right off the bat, he's like, okay, I don't know the system, but I've been told not to mess with them. I don't know why, but that's what I've been told. And a typical African is taught to be obedient, regardless. So your nature is you just want to follow the rules because I've been told not to mess with them, even though you have no idea why. Sometimes, and so that's why I really want to engage fellow Africans, and that's why I've been doing this very passionately. And even though again it doesn't sit well with a lot of my friends, but gradually the conversation is catching on. Right? The conversation is catching on. What we have not been speaking about publicly, I'm like, let's have a public conversation about it. because we sit in our homes and we have all these little
Chat.
chats about this people,
Right.
about those people.
Right.
I'm like, they are not those people.
Right.
Don't you see the connection? How do you call your cousins and your brothers? Like, how do you call them those people?
Well,
they act differently.
The same way we call ourselves oppositions, and the little homies call themselves opposition, killing one another, drilling, killing, and sliding on their brother.
Right.
Just because he from a different set, clique, crew, block, town.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, but this the difference.
Yeah.
We clearly have been affected by slavery.
Yeah.
And it has perpetuated because we never break the cycle.
We haven't. Because
That's why.
Yeah, because we haven't had this type of conversation for a long time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we gonna control the narrative. We gonna lead the movement. We gonna fix it, because if we lead the movement, guess what happens? It stays solid.
Yeah.
You let all these devils and snakes come in amongst us, bro, they will mess up what we build and develop. But I guarantee you, if we show them the way and we're successful at doing it,
We're telling our own story.
they're gonna come.
Yeah, we gotta tell our
That's why, I mean, he has his own show. We're working on building a real true radio station that's 24 hours, that deal with Afro beats,
There you go.
music,
Right.
a reggae, everything that you love.
Yeah.
We plan to build it, and it has these messages in it. Shows that talk to our spirit, our heart.
Yeah.
Shows that connect our cultures
Positive.
and positive and our politics.
Yes. Yeah.
See, because at the end of the day, we're in America.
Yeah.
We have to control the politics that creates the policies that mess over communities, that keeps us divided and separated across continents, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying that I got him here. I really just tricked him, to come here, because I still plan on figuring out how to make his show an extension where we bring in Africans from different countries to sit on the side of us, right?
Yeah.
And he gonna help me co-host it,
Yeah.
and he may host it. I'm trying to trick him, and we got one of our first sponsors, Earl Winfrey from, y'all know Intellectual Radio. That's Earl Winfrey.
Oh, okay.
So you'll probably see some of his symbols up there sooner or later. I'm gonna put it up there in the corner. So as we build sponsors, we'll be able, if you all want us to sponsor your product or anything, we'll be able to do that on our platform, and we'll be able to create, the resources necessary to continue to get this message out and create real programming, as well as other opportunities.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, before, in closing, what would you say to the people, man?
Absolutely. And you talked about programming. That's what we're trying to do. So we did what we call the exchange ceremony in 2019. Exchange ceremony was when 2019 was the year of return. It was also 400 years of slavery. And so what we wanted to do is to capture the moment, to bring Black people together after being separated over 400 years. So we had that event at the DuSable Museum. It was the first of its kind in the city of Chicago. We brought Africans, Caribbeans, African Americans together at the DuSable Museum, and we celebrated our culture. We ought to do the ceremonial things every year to bring us together, so that as we exchange our culture, as we interact, as we break bread, we can see the similarities that's among us. A lot of the time, the things that separate us is because we act differently because of the cultures, right? You talk different from me, okay? And you may carry yourself differently from me, from the Caribbean, from the African, so we all have our cultures. But if you look deep down, the culture is all the same.
Yeah.
You see, and so when we come together and we perform, so we're going to have cultural performances. Each group will come on stage and perform a peculiar dance that is noted to that culture, right? And so as we exchange these cultures, we get to feel and get to understand in our subconscious that we're not that different.
Yeah.
We just have different ways of doing things because we were separated and we're now different groups. But it does not mean, if you see little bits of Ireland in a space, it doesn't mean the islands are separate from each other. It just means that they are separate, like Jamaica, right? Where they have a little bit of islands. That whole area is called Jamaica. But you have St. Lucia, you have Spanish Town, you have this and that. It's just little islands that's separate, but it's all one Jamaica, right? That's the way it is. It's the little puzzles that have been separated. It's the same thing. Black people, our heritage is rooted in Africa. We have the same foundation, and so that event is coming up again this year. We could not do it due to COVID, but we're going to do it coming June 4th at Rainbow Push, and we're going to be honoring Reverend Jesse Jackson at that event. It's going to be the most beautiful culturally curated event you've ever seen in the city of Chicago, because it's not just Africans or Caribbeans that's going to come. It's all of us coming together, and we're going to put our cultures together, and we're going to celebrate ourselves. We're going to celebrate our beauty. And so watch out for the space. It's the Progressive Mind Show. Of course, we're on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. The Progressive Minds with S Show.
Support our brother.
Yeah, send us a message.
See more.
Yeah, and we're gonna put a lot of the flyers and everything coming up very soon. So stay tuned, and God bless you all. I can't wait to keep this conversation going.
No question.
Yeah.
So listen, I'm gonna start this show off our nightly review of every day, Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock. We're gonna start it off every day being in the prison cell, and we're gonna finish it being in the prison cell. So we're going back there right now, and let me just show y'all real quick. We got this amateur over here messing with the screen. You understand me? So listen, y'all see this? This is where ECCSC was formulated, right here. This is my sanctuary. This has been my sanctuary for 21 years. See, when we forget where we come from, we may end up going back. And oftentimes, that's what recidivism is. That's what recidivism looks like. I think that we forget when we become relatively successful, we forget that. And so we'll start it like this, we'll end it like this. But in closing, I want you all to think about this. 23 hours a day, 2 decades in the prison cell. What is that on the body? What is that on the mind? While you are free in society, you are actually incarcerated in your ills. You're incarcerated in your jobs. You're incarcerated in your mind. You're incarcerated in your vices, your habits. You're incarcerated in sport and play and games of chance. You're incarcerated in all the ills that has made you a slave. We are actually free. Prison has made us free because we've been able to think in prison. We've been in college in prison. Prison cell has been our incubator whereby we are able to chart out our futures and transform society. This is what it is. It's going to take us to save us. This is eccsc.org. Please continue to share, like,